Welcome to Real Flix Reviews, like a book club for people who hate reading. This month is a farewell to Real Flix Reviews, so I picked one of my favorite holiday movies, the Rack and Bass classic, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. This week we have Jonathan Charney, James Stevens, and Ryan Preston's here somewhere.
You made it.
So here's the description, and it's of course another IMDb classic, even though it's really hard to get a description of this movie wrong. Misfit reindeer and his friends look for a place that will accept them. And that's pretty much the plot of the movie, honestly.
Yeah, basically.
I love this movie. This movie was made roughly, it's a 1964 made-for-TV movie by Rack and Bass. It's one of my all-time favorite producers of anything, really. I love the claymation in this.
Dude, I gotta say, like, watching films like this, it is really surprising to know how much work goes into the claymation stop motion.
And it's short, too. I mean, this is only
a lot of freaking work.
And this is 47 minutes long.
Rankin and Bass.
Close enough. Rankin and Bass.
Name is right there.
Yes, I know.
Rankin.
I was continuing the shtick of not being able to pronounce things.
Oh. You want to die like that?
And the thing that always threw me off, even as a kid, it's Sam the Snowman.
Yeah, that was always...
It's like, hey, it's Frosty. Hi, my name's Sam. It's like, who names a snowman Sam?
He does.
But I always loved this. This was one of the movies that came on during my childhood that I was, it was this, Frosty the Snowman, and that Jack Frost one that's like, I always looked forward to.
I never actually looked forward to any holiday films.
I did, because...
Well, I mean, Die Hard. Yeah.
Lethal Weapon one.
Yeah, Lethal Weapon.
I always just looked forward to this movies, and there's a couple of other ones I looked forward to just because it was the one time it was on. I don't think they were available on DVD or VHS when I was a kid. Not that I can remember. Charlie Brown's Christmas was, though.
I'm going to say, yeah.
I just really enjoy this, and it's classic claymation. It's pretty much what I consider the pinnacle of it. I mean, claymation was still doing in the 80s, but during the 60s and 70s...
Wallace and Gromit was another one.
Yeah. But during the 60s and 70s, that's 60s or 70s. But during the 60s and 70s, that was really the primary special effect. So it was really the height of it. I just,
So do you have a rating for it? I mean,
I'll do a 5. I haven't given a 5 for a while. Because, for one, it's Rackin' and Bass. Absolutely love them. And it's Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. It's something I've been watching, since I was a kid, and it's something my kids will watch when they get old enough to know what they're watching. Just one of my all-time favorites. Plus the fact the Misfit Toys section always made me laugh.
I would, if I was actually going to rate it as far as like a kids movie, like one that, you're okay with your kid watching, they can sit there and watch it with them. Maybe a 3.
So
it's one of those that, it's a classic, but I guess I just have a cynical point of view on it because I look at him like, dude, freaking Santa Claus started all this racist bullshit with this reindeer. He was the first one to come in that said some shit about the kid's nose. I mean, the little guy's nose. He's like, dude, you ain't going to be on my freaking sleigh team with that nose. I mean, dear God, if his nose made that sound every freaking time, like, I would put him down. I mean, not only does his nose glow so you can see him in the dark and know where to shoot, but also you can just follow the sound like, oh, there's a reindeer over there. I'm going to shoot that piece of shit. Mount him on my wall.
He would be hard to miss in a forest.
Yeah,
I did always wonder, like, in the effects-wise, like, how did the clay not melt when they turned on that light bulb? Just because, I doubt there was even a low wattage.
I was going to say, because they just do little sequences with the nose actually going, on and off.
That's true. It's very limited.
Yeah, I was going to say, it probably is only on for a couple seconds. That's probably the last thing they do, and then they light it up and then do the picture and then take it off and probably switch it out real quick.
So, Ryan?
He's just shocked that we're actually talking about the logistics of this movie.
This is why, by the way, I
Okay.
picked this movie. I figured I'm going to do a movie that's going to be hilarious to review, and this was it.
Oh my gosh. Arthur Rankin and Jules Bass
Yeah, Rankin and
really,
Bass.
really make me want to restart the War on Christmas.
Why?
It's just I all I can think of is scorch earth when I think of Rankin and Bass. I am the anti-fan of Rankin and Bass.
Ding, 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 ding,
Fuck
ding.
everything these guys have ever done.
We
Except Thundercats and The Hobbit.
we found the Scrooge, ladies and gentlemen, but his heart will not grow 2 sizes this season.
Wait a minute.
Oh,
Did you
it
just say The
certainly
Hobbit
will not.
as a positive?
No, he said as a negative. He said fuck
No,
the
no, no.
Hobbit.
Except,
I
except
said that
Thundercats
one
and The Hobbit.
Thundercats.
Okay.
Right.
Really, the freaking rotoscoped Hobbit.
No, that's Lord of the Rings.
Oh, you're
the
right.
first
Yeah.
Hobbit was not rotoscoped.
But even
not
still, The
rotoscoped. No,
Hobbit
Lord of the Rings was-
sucked.
That's why I didn't say Lord of the Rings. I said The Hobbit.
No, but The Hobbit sucked too.
See, I disagree. The
No,
Hobbit for me
well,
is a
look,
5 out of 5.
They got
I love
in,
the Hobbit.
With The Hobbit, they got in, they got out. They did it
All
in
right,
72 minutes.
All
They
right.
did the main parts of the story, and it was fine.
And the
you know.
style, the animation they used really fit the story. It wasn't
Was
the
actually
rotoscope.
really good for the story.
And
but as far
I
as
still don't like it.
and listen, I really,
All right,
really
anyways.
want to give amazing credit to stop motion in general. It is probably the most tedious, labor-intensive type of entertainment
Yes.
you think of.
Yeah. If you people don't know what goes into it, just Google it. There's videos that
Oh,
show.
seriously.
I mean,
It's unfathomable what they go through to put those together. That
yeah.
being said, fuck, save yourself the effort, man, and stop doing it. At least for Rankin and Bass. Some people have done it amazing.
Wallace and
there's,
Gromit.
I mean, obviously, Wallace and Gromit. I was never that big of a fan, but I totally get the appeal.
Yeah.
Or was
I mean, I'm not a
But you
big
have
fan of it
something
either.
like
but it's good.
Nightmare,
Was it
Nightmare Before
Coraline
Christmas,
too?
Coraline. I mean,
Yeah. Corpse
amazing
Bride.
things people
Yeah,
have done.
Was it Corpse Bride?
Yeah,
But
Corpse
this
Bride was I think.
hacky piece of
Frankie Muniz
shit
too, I
movie, the only reason people fucking like this movie is because they're nostalgic for it. It's the only explanation.
Not
Well,
pointing any
I think
fingers
there's-
except for one.
There's a couple of things going for it. One, this was going into the 60s, I think, when Christmas was I think viewed differently, at least a little bit more than it is now. But yeah, I mean, it's totally tacky. It's
Ridiculous. I mean, read some reviews for Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, the TV special, I might add. Thank you. And it's like,
God.
oh, hey, you'll remember your childhood if you watch this movie.
and is that
Like
bad?
that's not.
Is what's
No, that's not a sign of a good movie.
so you basically just invalidated some of your reviews there.
Oh my god.
I see. And,
Oh
but,
no, I absolutely have qualified any reviews that I've had with nostalgia factor.
See, but this to me, this is one of the reasons it's a 5 out of 5. I mean, for one, it's the nostalgia factor. I'm a big fan of the people who made it, and this just stuff for me I've always liked. I like this animation style, and I don't know, just for me it adds up. Granted, it's cheesy. It's a giant propaganda commercial about Santa Claus, but still, it's still something I enjoy. And it's one of the few things you can actually sit down with your kids and watch during the holiday seasons. That's not the fucking was it Hallmark Channel? Which, by the way, even their happy fucking movies are depressing as shit.
I don't think they had the
You-
Hallmark Channel back then.
But see, that's really the only family friendly stuff you have now is like the Hallmark Channel, when it's happy, but makes you want to blow your brains out. This mom's divorced.
I mean-
Watch her have a very Merry Christmas being single. I mean,
You've just discounted probably 150 amazingly great kids movies that adults would like. Your list of holiday movies you can watch with your kids ends at Hallmark and Rankin and Bass. Is that what I'm understanding?
it's a joke, but no. But just saying, far as holiday movies that are out that are modern, there are just not a lot of good ones out there.
I can think of 1,000 better examples,
Name
than,
two that were
than this one.
name two that were made within the last 2 years or 5 years
Uh,
that are child safe.
let's see here. I'm Googling because, of course, I don't have this information off the top of my head. I don't watch a whole lot of holiday kids movies. Let's see here. Okay, Charlie Brown Christmas.
Not made within the last 5 years.
Okay, the last 5 years. I mean, really? You just picked a TV special from the 60s, and I need to find one from the last 2 years?
Well, see, this is one of the reasons. Like, I like all those cheesy '60s holidays movies. You know, Charlie Brown Christmas, the Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeers. I like those because they're great, family friendly. They have really good animation style for the time, and it's nostalgia, 100%. Because if you compare it to,
there's basically every other animation style is better than that one.
you mean the Rudolph?
Yeah.
I'm not.
I mean,
I
maybe
don't
Rhoda
disagree.
still has it beat.
I don't disagree, but that to me is also part of the romanticism about it is it's cheesy. I mean, it's on the level, if not worse, than some of Troma's stuff, if you want to talk about graphics, but it's still fun.
Yeah, my girlfriend just wrote on a note, by the way, at least he didn't take the Star Wars Christmas special.
Oh my God.
By the way, I have
Do
never...
you want that? Because I can send you a copy.
By the way, I never dared you to watch that, like the handicapped man sitting next to me, dared Ryan to watch it. I would never be that cruel to you, Ryan.
Oh no! I mean, well, James and I almost became friends over the love of mutual hatred for certain movies.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I'd still never be so cruel to make you watch that abortion.
I mean, he could have jumped out of the car. I wasn't going to stop, but he could have jumped out.
I just
yeah.
But I agree with you, Ryan. I mean, altogether, if I didn't have the fun factor for me, the nostalgia factor for me, the fact I'm a big fan of this animation style like this, it would be a 2, maybe a 2.5 to 3. But I'm giving it, the nostalgia and fun factor, which it just kicks it up a rank for me.
Well, I would put it this way: for me to give it a 3, it's one of those that I would see if James wants to watch. I wouldn't have him sit through it, and I wouldn't be like, "You're watching this thing." And if he wants to stop and go find something else to do, I'm perfectly fine with it. But it's one of those that I can have the kid watch. Will I read something?
Sure.
I'm not going to sit there and watch it with him.
You can have him watch Kung Fu Panda Holiday, a very Merry Pooh year, Winnie the Pooh.
These things exist.
Yes. I just find it funny it took him this long to find it.
Caillou's holiday movie.
I'd rather have him watch a Christmas Story.
Wait. Wasn't Caillou the cancer patient?
Yeah.
Kid?
Well, he's not a cancer patient, but he's like stupid.
I
don't know what's wrong with that kid, but there's something wrong.
I mean, he's bald. If that's what you're implying.
Well, because I always heard, and I by the way haven't read the books, know nothing about it, but I always heard from friends of mine that are parents before I became one, was like the kid is dying. That was what I heard.
Wow, I think you have terrible friends.
I really don't know.
Have you met
convince
us?
You that poor kid was dying.
Have you met us?
You've met James, by the way. So I mean, James is one of the best friends I've ever had.
Myself from that list.
So I don't know. I mean, I still really, really like this movie. Always will. I actually own it. That and the Frosty, a couple of the ones on Blu-ray. By the way,
and your opinions are invalid, and you're a terrible, terrible human being.
Sorry, I just sent Brian a couple pictures of Christmas.
This isn't the first time you've said that to me. So, but as James said, but as James said, I stopped at tentacle porn. So,
yeah, I guess I haven't really found my line when it comes to that kind of shit.
At least you're not going to try to span time. As far as I'm concerned, I mean, I gotta give him props for the amount of effort that went into this movie, like we've said, with the stop claymation style. I mean, I don't know. As far as the movie goes, I mean, there's a cute little underlying thing, but it also perpetuates, picking people out for differences. I mean, like the toys, like who wants to play with a Charlie in the box type thing.
but
I mean,
see, but
I
if you-
snicker because I can come up with dirty things about that. But as far as I'm concerned, there's really nothing enjoyable for an adult in this. Hold on.
Right.
Unlike when you come to the things that we are coming out with nowadays, where you got like Toy Story or the like some of the Disney ones like Moana, Lilo and Stitch. So as far as I'm concerned, there's no adult enjoyability underlying this one. So as far as
I'll
lifelong enjoyment, there's none.
You have to be a fan of it as a kid. It's 100% pure nostalgia. It's not like
I don't like
it's
Frosty
not
the Snowman, but I know
it's-
a lot of adults that do.
it's not like Shrek movies that have a lot of adult humor that goes way over kids' head. This is 100% a kids movie, which by the way I think is rare.
Animaniacs Christmas.
Does
Or
that
Pinky
actually?
and the
Oh, that's right.
Brain
It does.
Christmas specials.
I just happen to really like this one.
Okay.
Plus the fact I thought it would be fun to review because I had a feeling your guys' opinion on it.
Yeah.
So
I'll tell you what, my favorite Christmas movie of all time still is the 1951 version of A Christmas Carol with Alistair Sim. Best Scrooge ever.
I can't
except
say
for
I've
Bill
seen it.
Murray, of course.
I'm pretty sure.
Though
I've
there's
seen
so
it.
many versions of it. I've seen a bunch of them.
Well, yeah, I know
I
there's
just
like
really
10
like-
versions of it.
Oh, at least, yeah. I just really liked Alistair Sim's version of Ebenezer Scrooge. But look, all jokes aside, I mean, obviously, like James was saying, and like I was saying, the amount of effort somebody puts into this, the amount of effort that production studio of Rankin and Bass has put into movies, whether or not I'm a fan of them or not, it's really incredible. And I know a lot of people who are big fans of them. Maybe not necessarily this in particular because it's a movie for a 3-year-old. But
Ooh.
fans of theirs in
Burn.
general for other things. But like James said, in a world where they've become so amazing at making these movies, where it's equally enjoyable for an adult as a kid, and it's not like, oh shit, I got to sit through 42 minutes of this piece of shit to you sit my kid quiet for whatever.
42 minutes? This is over 50.
No, it's 47 minutes.
Was it?
I thought it was like 50.
I was gonna say I remember being like 45 or so, whatever.
No, it's
47.
Look,
Yeah,
it's not
This
the
was
worst thing
47
ever
on
made, but
IMDb.
it's just, there's, I would come up with a lot of different ones first before I got around to this one. Maybe if my kid was like, "Hey, have you ever heard of this movie?" I'd be like, "Yeah, I guess."
Oh,
you can
God,
watch it
no.
if
you
want to."
would have to be, and I like I said, you have to be a fan of it as a kid. It has to be something you grew up and
Yeah.
watched to like it. It's pure and
Right.
simple. Because
And luckily, my parents weren't that cruel.
I know I'll always be a fan
Your
of
mom
this.
is a sweetheart.
Yeah.
If she's a sweetheart, what happened to Ryan?
Have you met his dad? Oh, no, you haven't.
No. That explains something then.
That is so on the nose too. It's hilarious.
So I still give it a 5. And what about you?
I'm going to stick with a 3. It might, I was thinking as I watched this one again, I was like, do I want to have James watch this? He could, see if he's interested. That's
Yeah.
about as far as I went on it. But, as far as I'm concerned, it gets a 3 because it is one of those that could be, one of those that you can throw on at Christmas time here. If you want to watch this, you can.
Yeah,
I-
mine is basically a 3 if you just want to throw something on in the background while you do the dishes and your kids watch something who are between 3 to 7 years old.
But would you do it during the summer?
Why would you watch this movie?
No.
I'm just saying it's not a year-round movie.
No, exactly. Another reason why for me it's a 1 because
It's a niche
not
movie.
only is it a piece of shit, it's a seasonal piece of shit.
From what I've heard, it's about as good as the new Star Wars.
Oh yeah, you guys are both out of your minds. Before we even started this, I was arguing with James. Like,
John
I
hasn't even
I'll
seen it.
list a bunch of things after this, and I'm like, what?
I haven't seen it. I'm just pushing your buttons.
I've got a list. I do have a list of issues.
So, ladies and gentlemen, you can catch us on Facebook.com/RealFlixReviews. You can also catch us on iTunes, Podbean, Stitcher, and more.
He's still chuckling to himself. He found that amusing.
So It director confirms director's cut is coming in 2018. Not a surprise. I'm actually surprised it's not an extended edition, which was really popular for a while. I like the extended editions. I do think Lord of the Rings: Return of a King made it a little much with 45 minutes of added footage, making it a 4-hour movie
I mean,
with
are
no
we
fucking
going,
intermission.
Are we going back to the money-making scheme of releasing extended editions again?
See,
we
I
haven't done that
liked-
in like what, 5-10 years?
See, I was a big fan of extended editions. I'm even a big fan of director's cuts, honestly, because you've got the theatrical release and then you have like the extended release, which I think the extended edition is too long to be a director's cut. So it just, I like that because it's like the director's vision. It's one of the reasons there's so many versions of Blade Runner. See, I like stuff like that.
Yeah, well, sometimes the director's cut is a double-edged sword, you know, because really an editor is just as important to a movie than as a director is, and sometimes the director might have a different version. Case in point, the difference between the theatrical and director's cut of Payback with Mel Gibson from 1995. The director's cut sucks ass.
Hello?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Oh, there you
Yeah.
go.
So what was so bad about it? I've never seen the director's cut. I didn't even know there was one.
The intro is completely different. The music is completely different. The feel of it is different. He added this really weird and kind of psychotic, what do you call it? Narration, sort of internal monologue. That's the word I was looking for.
Wait. So on top of the narration there's internal monologue?
Yeah.
No, I'm sorry. No
what you're
narration,
saying.
just internal monologue. But the internal monologue is like half psychotic.
So it's like
and it
Dune,
really throws you off.
but it's like Dune, but set in modern time. Okay, that's a little weird for
Yeah.
that movie.
But if you compare it to the intro for the actual theatrical version is one of my favorite intros of all time.
Oh, it's a great intro. See,
But yeah, it's weird.
I still like it because I don't know, maybe it depends. Like Peter Jackson, I liked his additions to the additions to it for the extended editions because I think it made sense. I thought it
Now you hung up on him.
I thought it made a lot of sense for the extended edition on Lord of the Rings. The one thing I really hated was Hello?
Yep, sorry, I lost you there.
Yeah. So I love what he did to reiterate what he did with the extended editions. However, I wish there was a scene in The Hobbit they removed, which was the barrel scene, especially the part we had to GoPro. So it went from full 1080p to like 720p and then back to 1080p. And it was just nauseating. So I like extended editions.
I agree. I wish they would have removed a movie from that as well.
Just cut
the
the
Lord
whole
of the
thing out of
Rings,
there.
though. Yeah, just one movie. Just delete one movie.
Or turn it into
and then
one
you
movie.
wouldn't have a need for shit like the barrel scene because you don't have this epic need to fill 9 minutes. But
They should have turned it
for the Lord of the Rings, I was totally cool with it. You want to give me more of this movie, I'm fine with that.
And there's so much, like Lord of the Rings is 3 books. There's so much story in there that you need that. The Hobbit is like a 300-page book, and then somehow how you turned a 300 plus page book into 3-hour movies is
It's remarkable.
it should have been 2 movies. I would have been happy. You could have made that ridiculous barrel scene like a blip or remove it and nobody's gonna complain. And you could have gotten rid of the stupid love triangle, which wasn't in the fucking book, but who's complaining? Oh wait, I am.
So I just found this out. I guess this was actually released today. Daphne from Scooby-Doo died.
Yep.
Heather North. They released it today, though. She died November 30th. Kind of a long time to
And
wait
she
to
was
release.
the 60s, the original
Yeah,
voice, right?
yeah, original Daphne.
Damn.
Yeah.
I don't know about the rest of my co-hosts. Scooby-Doo is literally one of my favorite characters. I'm a big fan of the originals, and up to the 70s, the 80s Scooby-Doos with Scrappy-Doo was not a big fan of. I've seen
as
every.
long as we still have Casey Kasem there, that's all I'm saying.
Actually, I really like the guy who plays Shaggy now, Matthew Lillard. I think he does a pretty good job. He's not Casey Kasem, but I do think he is the best replacement as you can get.
Yeah, well, it's funny because he was Shaggy in the really, really terrible movie that they did.
You talking about the live action?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just making sure we're clear.
Well, see, the funniest thing, if you want to talk about Scooby-Doo movies, the best Scooby-Doo movie that's come out probably, I'd say the last 15 years is Scooby-Doo on Zombie Island.
Oh, yeah.
It's amazing because it's a little bit more of a serious take and would probably scare children depending on your kid and how young they are. It's really well done.
Well, that's why I agree with you. I like Scooby Doo, man. I'm a fan. It was a fun show, really gimmick. You know what I mean? And it just, you can keep doing it forever. You know?
Exactly. Are you there, Ryan?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay,
Yeah.
sorry. Somebody decided to give me a call in the middle of the show. It's like, what? Sorry, voicemail. I love Scooby-Doo. I am bummed, though. That's the only thing about getting older is the fact that some of my favorite voice actors and actors in general are passing away.
So, yeah, I just want to say, condolences to the family and thank you for her work. I mean, I appreciated what she did. So, I mean, good work that she did. Yeah, I wanted to throw this one out there just because John and I talked about this a couple of weeks ago. It is a bit of movie news. Ryan, do you know who Griselda Blanco is?
Sounds familiar, but no.
She is one of the biggest, if not the biggest, cocaine runner from the 1970s during the cocaine cowboy time.
Yeah, the Cocaine Queen.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
One of a very dangerous woman.
Yeah, very dangerous. Like, she killed a bunch of her husbands who were also cartel members. And anyways.
Well, there's a documentary. It's not the original Cocaine Cowboys. I think it's Cocaine Cowboys 2.
Yeah.
That goes more into her story. You should check it out because it's crazy, to be honest.
Yeah, and one of the things I want to bring up is actually that one of our favorite actresses is actually going to be her. I'm just trying to actually look up the actual name of the movie. Where is it? I thought it was Salma Hayek.
Please tell me it's Salma Hayek.
I'm pretty sure it is. Anyways, it's not on our thing right now. I don't see it. But yeah, so they're going to be coming out with a film based on her life. Now, I'm excited to see it because the woman was a very dangerous woman and a very cruel woman as well.
It makes for a great story.
It does. Why isn't it coming up, though?
Yeah, well, I mean, Salma Hayek, I mean, that chick can do no wrong by me. She is so damn good. She is so damn funny.
Yeah. Hold on, I'm actually going to try to pull it up.
Yeah, anybody who doesn't know what I'm talking about when I say funny, go watch Dogma.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Where is it? The Godmother. There we go. No. Cocaine Godmother. This isn't on. What the fuck? This is not it. I can't find it right now. I just watched a trailer for it the other day. Oh, sorry. Catherine Zeta-Jones. I thought it was Salma Hayek.
Oh, I'm equally good with that.
Yeah, she's good with that one too.
Yeah. So there's a new trailer for a Batman movie. It's like it's Samurai Batman.
Yeah, I posted that a few days.
Oh, yeah, the anime one. It's one of the DC animated features that they're doing anime style.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of the DC releases. Matter of fact, I think the DC animations are better than any of the live action movies they've done.
Oh, by far. It's ridiculous.
Matter of fact, Disney, I mean, not Disney, who's ever doing DC, scrap all the live action, just release the anime to theaters. And I think you'll make more money.
Yeah, I think they would too. There's a ton of Batman movies that are, kind of a lot of DC, but there's been a bunch of Batman ones that have come out too under the Red Hood.
Check out Justice League War. That's my favorite.
Yeah, there's that one too.
Oh, that's a great one.
Anyways.
And Justice League Unleashed, it's more like, I think it's Unleashed. It's basically like the 60s era JLA.
Oh, okay.
Which is a pretty amazing one.
Yeah, there's been a bunch of them that have come out under the radar that are amazing. But the
Red Hood was good.
Samurai one,
Batman versus Robin.
Yeah, I want to get back to the Batman Samurai one.
Yeah.
This one is done by the guy who put out Afro Samurai.
Oh,
and exactly that's how I feel about Afro Samurai. And they have Batman with a full katana and as far as I'm concerned, why doesn't he have the reverse katana like Rurouni Kenshin? Because he doesn't kill. I mean, can you imagine getting hit in the skull with a hardened backside of a katana? You're gonna not want to move again.
I think that's kibitzing a little, honestly. I mean, because it's still not a firearm. You can still. I think what they're going to say is he's so amazing that he can use a sword and not kill anybody. Blah 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 blah.
Well,
blah.
that's
Well, I mean,
yes,
he
of
had
course, going to be the
batarangs.
thing. He's going to be the guy that can, slice your belt off and make your pants fall down, kind of precision and split hairs, et cetera, et cetera.
Well, I'm interested in the
Um,
Joker that they put up. It looks pretty cool. I don't know if you've seen the trailer.
the animation style looks so cool, and of course, it's like alternate universe, so all bets are off. It's one of the reasons I like animation in general is you can do shit like this.
The
Yeah.
only thing, as long as it doesn't have the animation style
Of Afro
that
Samurais.
Afro Samurai had.
Yeah,
I mean,
it was kinda gross.
I like the way it looks. I just don't like the way it flows, and
Yeah,
it's.
They did a weird,
Well-
like you kind of said, the way they made it flow, the artistry that was in it,
Yeah, the art style. I
took
did
you out of it.
was not a big fan of
Yeah.
that. I understand why they did it, but I wasn't a big fan of it. I'm also not a big fan of Fooly Cooley, which I think does something similar in a way.
I don't-
FLCL.
Trying to remember, I don't know if I've actually watched that. I know about it, but yeah.
But I want to see it pretty much because if it has DC, it's an animation. I'll watch it. Unlike any of the live action movies, I'm becoming a little jaded. I also did hear that Ben Affleck is stepping down as everybody's favorite caped crusader, which puts in jeopardy his Batman movie that he was allegedly supposed to direct. So I've also heard the new Justice League movie kind of sucked,
I enjoyed it.
and
I
I
haven't
I
seen
mean, it wasn't spectacular, but it was pretty cool.
So compared to the Marvel movies, granted everybody's kind of sick of superhero movies. How do you compare it? I mean, just
Well, dude, Marvel, they've already done Civil War. I just saw the trailer for Infinity War. And
Looks
it looks
good.
badass.
I mean, but what do you think though? I
Um,
mean, if you compare, I mean, it's kind of apples to oranges, but
It
overall,
really kind of is, yeah.
but I mean, you compare like
Comparatively speaking, Marvel is really done a much more an amazing job. Because in comics, I'm a fan of DC more than Marvel.
yeah,
In the movies, it's really quite the opposite, and I'm fine with that. I'm not so precious about one or the other. That DC has a great medium in comics, and they're fine. But the storytelling, the narratives that they put together have just been really, really good with Marvel.
So does Justice League looked rushed as much
Well,
as
it was just they didn't have the prequel movies, so you had this like introduction of the character and their whole arc kind of mashed into the meeting scenario of all the team coming together. So it wasn't.
so is that most of the movie is the supposition of him trying to gather the team?
No, that's the thing is they pulled that together pretty quick.
Wow,
Um,
I'm actually shocked at that.
but at the expense of knowing and or giving a shit about everybody.
So it's inside baseball then. You have to be a fan, unlike the Marvel movies where they introduce everybody.
Well, to a certain extent, you probably it helps being a fan to know a little bit more of
Well,
the
like for example,
of
your
the ins
mom.
and outs of each character.
Like for example, if your mom saw this, would she get anything, or would she have to call you up and say, "So what was up with this guy?"
Explain this, please.
Well, not necessarily because they gave you just enough, but to know kind of the nuanced stuff or to appreciate, why a character is cooler than the other. I mean, granted, it's a few weeks ago since I've seen it, so I'm probably misremembering some of the better
Ant-Man.
parts. But
Because that's always how I judge things. Because I'm such a fan of like comic books and all this medium. Like for me, it's like, okay, would my mom understand this? And that's usually my judge when I realize, okay, I understand it, but my mom probably wouldn't.
yeah,
I also
So
heard.
you're looking for like niche stuff that people wouldn't really.
Yeah, I also heard that Superman. This is kind of when you get to see him be kind of his dick. The evil Superman.
He's not always a dick.
Not as much. I heard because he's
the
black.
collateral damage people will probably think he was.
Well, I heard he kind of goes evil. Into like, was it Injustice, like the comic
Injustice.
books? That's kind of what it seems like to me.
Savior mode.
Yeah, because when it shows in the first one, in the first Batman versus Superman,
You mean when he starts voting Democrat?
exactly,
Yeah.
when he when he has that flashback or that weird dream sequence where he's trying to
Gotcha.
get kryptonite.
I just don't like Superman.
No. Batman's a much better character in my opinion.
Yeah.
Ryan?
Yep, agreed.
Well, I mean, I think we're all
Batman
fans
fans
at this point. I mean, at some point younger, I knew I enjoyed Superman, but that did not last very long.
I liked the Superman movies with Christopher Reeves. The last one was kind of weird. I think that was the one with Richard Pryor. I wish that was kind of odd.
Yeah, with the Brainiac type thing that was going on.
Yeah, that was like, wow, where's Richard Pryor's missing my second favorite person?
I mean, the issue that,
Where's the other guy?
really took me out of the Superman lore is actually from one of the Christopher Reeves ones, when he goes back in time to save Lois and he spins the Earth the other way around. It never made sense to me, even as a kid. And I mean, I wasn't even 10 when this happened, and I'm just like, first of all, the stop of the rotation by spinning it backwards, everyone would fling off the planet, and we'd all die. And this does
So
not make
you're trying to bring logic into Superman as somehow a magical being from outer space that's powered by the sun. He's fucking Captain Planet. I mean, come on.
Physics alone would discount that, and I mean, it's not that
Captain
big of a bizarro
Planet.
world.
Like I
He
said,
gets hurt, and a monkey. But anyways, that just ruined Superman for me when I was a kid. I just remember that. I'm just like, this is bullshit.
I always thought it was cool, but I kind of knew. I kind of realized what they were doing. Okay, this is. And yes, I actually thought this. Okay, they need a reason to save a character that nobody really likes, and she's integral to the story, but not
and I
really.
always thought she was the ugliest Lois Lane ever.
I liked Terry Hatcher,
Yeah.
even though she was the world's bitchiest Lois. Next week
She
is
was.
James's pick.
Oh, yeah.
So if James did his homework, which he might not have.
Did I do my homework? What is homework? It's implied. I'm already here. I don't have to do it. It's not homework anymore. Oh, wow. So I actually had it pulled up and it just kind of went down. Where the hell did it go? I'm doing Trading Places with,
Nice.
with Eddie Murphy and Dan Aykroyd.
Ah, we're going to do that one again.
We didn't do it before.
Yeah, we did.
No, we haven't.
Yes, we have.
Ryan, have we done Trading Places?
I don't think so. I think I did Coming to America.
Yeah.
No, we've never done Coming to America.
We have not done Trading Places.
Oh, well, we'll see. So we're doing Trading Places with Dan Aykroyd.
And we are also going to be doing I guess it's part 1 of Godless, which is a Netflix show about Westerns. So it's
Cool.
Mm-hmm.
Ladies and gentlemen, next week we're doing Trading Places with
Which we
Dan
haven't done
Aykroyd
before.
and, well, everybody else. Next week is, what was the TV show?
Godless.
And ladies and gentlemen, for Jonathan Charney, James Stevens, and
Black Glove.
Ryan Preston, see you next week.
Goodbye.